think we can begin and welcome everyone. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation and joining this call and this meeting. My name is Vignesh. I'm at ShoutForHelp, working with its operations. So to just give you a little bit of background to the organization, ShoutForHelp is an initiative with a viewpoint of enabling the distressed overcome hardships in life. ShoutForHelp is an issue resolution platform, extending a helping hand during times of crisis for those contending with trauma or adversity. It helps to bring philanthropic experts such as doctors, lawyers, scientists, teachers, and NGOs with the help seekers onto one platform. Ultimately, it's an endeavor to promote familial and communal well-being, creating a happy and peaceful society. It is safe, it's confidential, it's secure. Please help us spread the word about ShoutForHelp and contact us through our website or our email, info@shoutforhelp.org. So moving on, we are excited to have our speaker today, who is Dr. Krishnamurthy Kavirayani. And he's a renowned senior psychiatrist and is a retired professor of psychiatry. He practices in Hyderabad and has an experience of 41 years in this field. He completed MBBS from Andhra Medical College, Visakhapatnam in 1969, and MD Psychiatry from National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Nimhans, in 1975. In his experience, he has garnered the role of being a clinician, academician, and an administrator, and has managed to extensively work in private and public sectors. Welcome, Doctor. It's a privilege to have you here. So Subbarao Jayanthi, also known as Jay, is a thought leader in the development of strategic plans and growth marketing strategies for various organizations over the last 2 decades. He has in-depth expertise in supporting business and organizational goals and development. He's a serial entrepreneur and is an advisor for ShoutForHelp. So he is going to be our moderator. All the questions will be sent to Jay, and we can take it from there. So with that, we can start our meeting. Thank you once again for being here. These are some of the reminders for one and all. Just make sure that you're always on mute. And whenever there's an opportunity arises to speak, we both will work together to unmute and we can speak. Please ensure for all of those who are going to speak to be have your phone on silence, including your notifications. And last request is to type your questions on chat. We'll pick it up and we will take it from there. So I'll now request Jay to continue this session.
Yeah, thank you, Vignesh, and thank you very much for the introductions. Good afternoon, all the participants, and at ShoutForHelp, we are thankful for your participation this afternoon. As all of us are experiencing an unprecedented situation in the world, we have experienced this situation from climate change to the refugee crisis, then the COVID crisis, which has endured all of us. This COVID crisis is coming in waves and giving us the challenging situation to the humanity as never before. But the spirit of hope has helped the human race until now to cope through the ages like earlier, now also. And we will in present times also do so. In the uncertain and turbulent times that all of us are in today, we can certainly carry us through the day is perseverance and belief. Staying at home and facing uncertain future naturally makes every person, every human anxious and little perturbed. So, like you all feel, we are also feeling the same. So, what do we do? How do we work around these unusual times? How does one gain resilience and confidence in own self? One who have to take into consideration our emotional, physical well-being, and I understand most of us do agree that there are no quick fixes for these issues, friends. So we need to work around a routine for ourselves. So with that in mind, Shout for Help has chosen the topic for today's webinar, being at home, how do we stay fit? So we are, honored to have Dr. Krishnamurthy Garu as an expert to guide us through in this particular difficult times. Welcome, Doctor, for giving your consent and presence to share your expertise, knowledge, wisdom to all the participants, alongside with me also, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, I might represent most of the participants' viewpoint. I think what I raise as questions as a representative of the fellow participants who have joined the session, please allow us to, understand broadly few things before we take the session to a question answer session live, interacting with the participants. So on behalf of the entire participants who have joined this session this afternoon, we would like to know from you as an expert and a medical professional, how do we define health in these unprecedented situations, Dr. Sab?
Thank you very much, Mr. Subbarao and Mr. Vignesh, for a good words that you spoke about me. As rightly pointed out by the chairperson, that we are in an unprecedented, uncertain situation, which is bringing a newer order into our life, a new physical order, a new psychological order, a new social order, a new philosophical order, a new economic order. No. So we have to adjust to the changing environment. For that, we should have preparedness. And then when we are in our attempt to get adopted to a newer environment, we need to understand what is our present position in the environment in which we are living and how can we go to the change and adopt. If you ask me something like what is permanent in life, I'll say change is permanent in life, nothing else. Nothing else that is permanent in life other than change.
Very good said.
So we will, as has been requested by the chairperson, I would like to define health. Definition of health as such is done by the World Health Organization in 1948. The Constituent Assembly has put out a definition which says health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and just not a mere absence of disease or infirmity. So not having a disease is not being healthy, but being healthy means you should have a complete well-being of physical. See, that's how they balance the physical, mental, and social. They didn't mean financial, they didn't mean religious, they didn't mean spiritual. No. So these three things. Just looking back, in 1948, this definition has been given, and today is 2021, and not a bit changed in the definition of health. Same definition continues even today. But in my best thinking, I think this definition has been borrowed to some extent by an ancient Indian definition, which Vakbhata, the student of Charaka, has given sometime in 640 AD. It says, Samadosha samagnischa samadatu malakriya prasanna atma indriya manah swastha ityabhidiyate. Please note the words. Prasanna atma indriya mana. Means a fulfilled or a bright prasanna, atma, self, indriya, organs, and mana, mind. How they nicely define in the year 640 AD, long back. So this definition of health which WHO has given has probably borrowed from the Vakbhata, who has given it in Sutrasa. Whenever we talk of health, generally we talk statistics, morbidity, mortality, the gross domestic product, etc., which are simplifications. Actually, it should include measures not only of income, but also education, and not only in quantity, but also in the quality of growth. So the organization called ShoutForHelp, the initiative they have taken to educate people about what is health and how they should face the changing order of life. Now, when we say health, body is always in a perfect homeostasis. Our grandsire, God, or the nature, whatever we call, has designed our body in such a way that we are in perfect homeostasis. And whenever the homeostasis is disturbed, it results in disease. Long back, the father of modern medicine, Hippocrates, in 460 BC, has given a four-humor theory where he said there are four body fluids which when in order, when maintained in homeostasis, it results in health. And disturbance of that homeostasis is disease. So he says sanguine, choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic. Now that's how he divided people. So that's exactly what Vakbhata said also, that samadhatu malakriya, samadosha samagnischa. Dosha is humor. No? Health actually stands on four pillars. Where do we get our health from? It is from the genetics. What has been given, what has been inherited, which is not in our control, and the environment in which we live, the nutrition we take, and last but not the least is the medical care system or the hospitals, doctors, etc. So the role of doctors and hospitals in maintaining health is very, very limited. But what we do for ourselves that maintains our health. So, I think I sufficiently defined health. Health, is again from where do we get our health? Biological endowment. That is what we have inherited from our parents. Adds to 10 to 15%. And physical environment, as I've said already, is to 10 to 15%. And the socio-economic environment. Remember the socio-economic environment. Our society, our connectedness to society, our friends, that will determine to a large extent as to up to 50 to 60%. And the hospitals, the illness care system or the medical care system, which you talk, contributes less than 20%. So this is what, in a nutshell, I'll say that what health is. If there is anything else that people want to ask me, I will be happy to answer.
No, thank you, doctor. So as you have said, health is basically constitutes of four pillars, which in our physical, nutritional, emotional, as well as physical activity. So very well articulated, doctor. Now, having understood the four pillars of, essential four pillars for being healthy, now the current situation, which is engaged all the human beings within our homes, though we call them sweet homes, and humans are social beings. Now our social connectivity is completely curtailed in an interactive manner. Now keeping that particular situation in mind, how one would be able to maintain their fitness, being at home, being fit? What do you suggest, Dr. Saab?
Thank you very much again. when we say fitness, we always mean do some exercise. Exercise of either a physical type or a mental type. Sometimes, people when we ask people to do exercise, they say, for my mental problems, how exercise does help. In fact, exercise, though defined as a physical activity, it actually promotes your moods. And in the sense, it regulates your moods and it gives you a sense of fitness. So physical exercise of any type, more particularly the aerobic exercise, that will give a good, fitness. In fact, people who do regular exercise, they have less of anxiety and depression. Anxiety and depression is a common emotions which are seen in our day-to-day life by all of us. And also as diseases, if we are unable to cope up with the existing anxiety and depression, they will be less when somebody is involved in physical exercise. Then one thing that is being talked of very much in depth these days is your immunity. Because in these COVID times, what protects one person is their immunity. Immunity is mostly innate, what we have inherited.
Yep.
To some extent, it is adoptive, some extent, it's passive. But when you have your immunity, there are only 2-3 things that can increase your immunity. For example, do good exercise. That will increase your immunity and lead a stress-free life. How one can lead a stress-free life is acceptance of. That we'll come to it in the next few minutes. And then lead a stress-free life and do exercise regularly. For example, any exercise is good enough, but particularly the aerobic exercises like walking, cycling, swimming, jogging, these exercises which done in a regular way, they improve your breathing patterns, they improve your fitness, they improve your mood regulation. So one need not go out to sort of do walking. They can do it in their house. In their house, for example, there is one walking pattern which is been taken is running, walking in the 8 pattern. That walking in 8 gives you sort of mental development, physical development, and there are studies in the ancient times to show that walking in these 8 patterns, at least 20 minutes. They recommend several things like walking in a 8 pattern from south to north, or in east to west direction, or changing the directions. For example, one can, in a small space of their house, they can keep 2 chairs apart and walk between them in an 8 pattern. So one need not say there's no park nearby. Either my house is very far away from there's no walking track. The thing is, you can make best use of the available resources by walking in your house, or you stand there and do some exercise so that your muscles move, and that will, you see, exercise of several types. For example, endurance exercise, where you go to a gym, that is muscular endurance exercise, we call it. Then we have relaxation exercises like yoga. You have aerobic exercise like what I mentioned just now. So when you go to do these exercises, staying at home, you need not go out, and you will improve your fitness. And you can lead a stress-free life. And then what improves our fitness is a positive way of living. How positive or how accepting we are to the changing patterns of our life. That's also a type of exercise. It's not a physical exercise, but it's a mental exercise. And the second thing is deep breathing. Now people talk of pranayama and aloma, anuloma, pranayama, etc. No, forget about all those technical jargon. Sit at home and with a closed eyes or without closed eyes, sit in a comfortable position and deep breathing. Deep inspiration and deep expiration. They say 6 to 8. That is 6 seconds deep inspiration, 2 seconds hold your breath, 8 seconds you do expiration. This type of deep breathing pattern will also improve your fitness, not only your physical, not only your mental, which best fits into the definition of health given by the WHO. So exercise, living a stress-free life, living a positive life, no, this will go a long way. And try to modify your response to the stress. These things will definitely, raise your immunity to face the attack of the illness. When it comes, our body has to be prepared. And these events, which I just now mentioned, will prepare your body so that you can face the situation in a better way. Staying at home, like what ShoutForHelp has appropriately named, stay fit and stay at home, because we're not going to crowds. We don't go out outside and then interact with people. Sitting at home, we can, we can improve our well-being and we can improve our fitness.
Yeah, very good, doctor. Thank you, Dr. Sab. As already the participants have many questions related to fitness, because I think some of them are, regular fitness observers. They were saying they were able to really walk for hours in a normal life, which is now got curtailed because of the lockdowns and the social distancing norms. I think we will get back to the question and answer after one more point which I have from all of us. So I have noted that particular point which I request you to really answer. As you rightly said, most of the human beings off late forgotten to observe even their own breathing. This is a fundamental flaw. We never really observe. This is with me also. The case is with me also. We never really observe breathing as a sensible observation. So, as you rightly said, instead of giving any technical name to the breathing exercise, if one can able to practice breathing, probably that will able to also help maintain the fitness which body is already endured. Thank you very much. So, Dr. Saab, having seen the 4 pillars of health and in these circumstances, how one can be being at home, trying to be physically active to make not only the physical activity brings in the bodily exercise, but also the mental balance. We have a larger question which is very pertinent to the current situation. How do one will maintain the mindfulness? During these pandemic times, how do one will be emotionally balanced and keep up with the circumstances around all of us? Being an expert and a practitioner for more than 45 years, I think your insightful thoughts and suggestions will help all of us, including myself, to really gain the insights, doctor.
Sir, the question you posed is
Yes,
very thoughtful. Very thoughtful. You must have thought about the WHO definition of health, where they say it's not only the physical well-being, but also the emotional well-being that is very important. So you have rightly picked up the correct question, and now asking me to address how one can emotionally balance.
Yeah.
Or in other words, I'll put how one can improve their psychological well-being.
Yep.
Psychological well-being, actually, if you are happy in mind, you see the world, the entire world is happy around you. If you are sad, you must have had, we must have had the old saying that laugh and you laugh with others, and cry and you cry alone. So that's old saying, very So what I'm telling is how one can improve their psychological well-being to face the current scenario. So we can increase our immunity. We can increase, our ability to, to attack the illness with available resources. And to have good psychological well-being, there are 2-3 very important things which I would like to discuss with. One is get adequate sleep. getting adequate sleep is very, very difficult these days.
Yeah.
Because if you ask me the health definition, one way of defining health is 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of recreation in a day, and all to God. That means nothing is meant. Give all to God. No. So that's what one definition of health says, that you have adequate sleep, adequate exercise, and adequate work.
Yeah.
That gives you happiness. So adequate sleep is very, very important. No, but thing is, we actually, as I said earlier, body is in perfect homeostasis, and we try to disturb the homeostasis. So in the same way, what I'm telling is, you try to maintain a better homeostasis, good adequate sleep for 8 hours, which is very easy to say, but when you sleep on the bed, sometimes you won't get sleep. You will turn this side, you will turn that side, And second thing is, avoid excessive caffeine. That also adds to sleep. And avoid alcohol and drugs. Again, it adds to sleep and adds to psychological well-being. One thing, let me tell you, these external agents called alcohol and other drugs of abuse, substances, etc., they reduce the immunity of individual. That's what I said. Our body is in good homeostasis, and with our activities, we bring the homeostasis down. So you drink, and then when you become chronic, when you become slowly get addicted to alcohol, the immunity level comes down. People know it, but still they cannot come out of it. Then adequate exercise, which I told you earlier. And second thing that improves our psychological well-being is how connected we are. How connected we are with our family and with our world around. For example, that's what's called interpersonal connectivity. And second thing is called the community connectedness. Community connectivity. If suppose you get connected to community, it reduces the stigma. It increases the positivity. And it will improve your disease, it will improve your disease facing ability and disease mitigating ability. So community, and then community means you need not give crores and crores of rupees. Give a small amount, or give a small amount of time of your time to the society. And then now we say we are in home. How can we do it? We cannot go out. How can we get connected to your thought? The thing is, now people are sort of glued to their mobiles. They sit to their mobiles, but then make the mobile an instrument to get connected to people. For example, you be in connection with your friends and with your family through a WhatsApp call, and talk to them, encourage their welfare, and to your well-wishers. Like by doing such things, the small mobile in your hand, you make it a big opera. And then you sort of make people, you are in the midst of connectivity, and you will be able to help yourself, and also help them. Then second thing is self-esteem. How, self-esteem means the value I give it to me in my life. For example, self-esteem is like a petrol in a car. When there is petrol, the car runs. So when there is self-esteem, you project yourself forward. So self-esteem can be raised by removing negative belief system. And have developed positive self-talk. So whenever we are alone, we do self-talking. So have a positive self-talk and not a negative self-talk. And building positive relations, and be assertive when to say no for something. So assertion also will build up the self-esteem. Then have goals in life and try to achieve them, and small goals, long-term, short-term goals, long-term goals. Short-term goals, you have a short-term goal. Tomorrow I must help a friend of mine. That's a short-term goal. So you just talk to him. Help need not be you take money and give him. Then that will give you a sense of happiness, sense of relatedness, sense of connectivity. So that will improve your self-esteem. And so goal-directed behavior, that's what I mean. Then second thing is, take small challenges. Create a challenge, take it and face it. That will increase your self-esteem. Then another way of building positive mental health or emotional balance, as you said, is creating a purpose in life.
Okay.
Oh, what is the use of my life? Why I am here? That's a negative self-talk. But let me see how I can help somebody. How I can be relate, how I can be of use to somebody or some society or some organization or some person in need, etc. That will give you a meaningful existence and narrow down your negative way of thinking. It activates yourself, and when you create purposeful life. Then third thing, a word which you use during your introduction is hello.
Yes, doctor.
Which is increasing resilience, mental resilience. Resilience actually means that that you will how you come back to the original position when you are put into the a stressful situation. That means the time or the effort you put to recoil back to a normal position is resilience. That can be again by being curious, by taking novel challenges and trying to face them. And then have achievable goals, as I said. That will increase your resilience.
Very good. Yes, Doctor.
Mental resilience again will improve your mental well-being, increase your resilience, and it improves your well-being. Then the one word you use is mindfulness. Actually, what is mindfulness is, without any judgment, accept what is given to us, what we are given by the nature or by the God or by your parents. Acceptance, acceptance without any critical judgment. That will increase your mindfulness to look into the problem and then face the world in real. So that's how one can increase their, their mental well-being to face the present situation, present crisis, and also increase your immunity. And to be of help to you and also to the society and also to the family in which you are living. Got me? Huh?
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for enumerating. I understand time is not enough to really explain the subtle points of being emotionally balanced. So we have already a lot of questions are rolling in. So I will take on the questions to you so that we can answer as much as possible, Dr. Saab. Is that okay?
It's not I can answer, we can answer.
Absolutely. Well, sir, it's all Shout for Help is a organization of help seekers with the experts. So it's a community. So
when I say we, it's not only you and me, even the audience also will answer sometimes. There's an answer hidden in questions always. So they may be answering to some extent. Thank you.
So I'm taking the subtler questions to really begin with, mainly addressing on the fitness activity that we have said. Then we will go into the criticality of being, emotionally balanced, and then how do we really overcome the fear phobia of the current situations as we go further. So the initial question was posed by one of the participants is that he used to walk for 1.5 hours daily prior to the pandemic and lockdowns. Now that the lockdown is enforced and they are cased at their homes, they are not able to really maintain the same motivation to continue that activity at home. So how do they mentally overcome that barrier of continuing their, whatever it is, continuing their activity within the home? Because maybe people have the luxury of walking in a park or open in space or waterfront. Suddenly you have been brought into a very cubicle home. So how one can able to address that point, Dr. Saab?
Because what is required is about 15 to 30 minutes of exercise every day.
Yeah.
Do it in a park, do it in a big open area, or do it in the home. Because now in the lockdown period, you cannot go out of the house. So
Correct.
within the precinct of your house, take a small room, sit there, stretch your legs, fold your legs, and then stretch your arms, fold your arms, lift them up, lift them down. So these are all exercises. You need not go for a walk. Walking is only one type of aerobic exercise. You can do other exercises, like you can do flexibility exercises. You can do deep breathing. So all within the precinct of your house. And then someone can say that we are used to a bigger environment and we are used to a very big park, etc., where friends come, we chit chat and talk, etc. But then you can do it, as I said, put your mobile, connect to them in WhatsApp, and all of you do together the exercise which you are doing. Deep breathing. You don't require a bigger space. Or you do flexing exercise. Or for example, do Surya Namaskaras. How much space you require to do Surya Namaskaras?
Yeah.
So any exercise, one has to have the ability to get adopted to the changing environment. Now you cannot go out of the house. So in your house, select the room which you can, a bigger room, in the out of the rooms which you have. If you have single room, same single room, that should be a palace. That attitude of yours should be that this is my palace in which I live. And so make you that room and then try to do whatever exercise you can do.
So you are suggesting that one has to recalibrate to the current situation,
changing situation,
and continue doing in a miniature form of their activity what they like dear and most.
Exactly.
I hope our participant agree with us and keep continue doing that. We wish the situation will improve very soon, and you will be free again to go back to your normalcy very soon. Thank you very much. Dr. Saab, another question, very interesting question pertinent to the same. See, we plan many things to improve the fitness levels. And all of us, all the people around us also suggest to be fit and then being, fitness. But we fail to, inculcate these activities. So how to start and continue the activity which is needed, especially in this particular situation, and how do we commit to what we have agreed? This is like taking a commitment and not able to really, the mind is not allowing us to commit to these goals. So how do you suggest, Dr. Saab?
This is mainly a sort of lack of motivation. We sort of, we have to motivate ourselves to meet the demanding needs of the situation. For example, exercise will improve your fitness. Exercise will increase your immunity. Exercise will increase your ability to face the disease. But then I have no space. I have nothing. I have no time. That means we are trying to minimize, trying to find excuses. But instead, make best use of the resource available and try to do exercise. You can, for example, some people say, today I have body pains, I don't do exercise. But the best medicine for body pain is exercise.
Okay.
Then we all want vitamin D, and then we all want it in tablet form. So you can take a small tablet, keep it under your tongue and chew. That's I thought I got vitamin D. But then walk in sun, when you walk in sun, you manufacture your own vitamin D free without any money. So what I'm telling is, when you sun, in your house, in one room, sun comes, you stay in that room and try to face the sun. Face means in the sense get sunlight, or do exercise in a room sitting. You need not even stand. I say, I don't have. This is because go into the depths of it and they lack motivation. Yeah. They do not have motivation, and so they find excuses. I cannot do. You can. If you further tell, they get angry. How can you tell me like that? So you try to motivate them. Those people who are around, tell them in a positive way that exercise will increase your ability to face the situation, and you need to.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, I think this answers our question. Now, I think one of the participant is asking, Yeah, I think we can able to really unmute Mr. Rangachari. Vignesh. Yes, yes, Mr. Rangachari. Your unmute. Your mic is not. Okay, we will get back to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Please ask the question. Now we can hear you.
I'll just get back.
Okay, we will come back. Okay, Dr. Sab. So there is another related question, more towards the fitness. Then I will go on to the emotional. See, we are all seeing an uncertain future. And currently, we do not know whether this wave is going to really subside and then make our lives back to the normalcy, or there is going to be a continuum to the current situation for a longer time. It's still, the current situation, pandemic globally is enduring and testing times to the humankind. So, as the situation, if persists to continue further, what will be the way of life in future? And if this continuum need to go, how do we maintain our fitness? Will there be a new transformation model of fitness activities need to be derived?
See, one thing is, as I told you in the beginning, what is permanent and what is good in life is change and adapting to change. Don't look when the pandemic will end. Pandemic has its own course, and it will, it may take a long time. When was influenza A virus first came into existence? It came into existence in about 100 years back, and still we get influenza case, don't we? So we don't say that the virus will end. But the thing is, pandemic situation may end, but our preparedness should never end. Maybe people of my generation have to wear mask till we die. Maybe any number of years, we don't know. No. So don't wait for somebody to end the pandemic, but you improve your preparedness to face the situation by the procedures which we have mentioned just now, by increasing your mental well-being, by being positive, by having an emotional balance, by doing exercise, by not taking alcohol, such things. So what I'm telling is, don't look for the pandemic to go, but look for ways to improve your fitness and to improve your ability to face the situation.
Okay, right. Thankfully, I think Mr. Rangachari has a question that he wants to interact with us. Yes, Mr. Rangachari.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's a really great presentation on the health. I just want to share two inputs. That is, when we are isolated in a lockdown stage, the physical activity is less. So thereby, I feel that we should, to maintain body mass index, so we should cut down in calories and daily check the weight so that we remain healthy. That is one. So you can share your input on that.
Yes, cut down your calories means eat less.
No, instead of one sweet, eat 2-3 idlis like that.
Moderation is always good. No, but the thing is, moderation is very difficult to implement. That is the most important.
Yeah.
Purpose of eating is to counting those things are secondary. But so eat your contentment and do exercise to burn the calories rather than taking less of calories. But because the food you eat should give you satisfaction. It should be not in excess. It should be not in excess, but it should be enough for you to fill your stomach and have a satisfaction that you have taken. So cutting down calories is a very good, suggestion. I agree with you. Instead of eating 2 sweets, you eat 1 sweet. I agree. That saves on money also, for that matter.
Yeah. Great, Dr. Saab. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rangachari. Hope that has addressed. I think a lot of people are waiting. We may able to really move on to the next question. Thank you, Mr. Rangachari. Sir, now going back to, more about the emotional well-being and understanding the current situation and the new patterns of change of emotion is causing anxiety to a lot of populations. Every one of us are having the same kind of opinion. So I think I have a couple of very pertinent questions which are needed to be looked upon. So I would like to have your attention to these. How do we manage our emotional health in a jail-like situation which we are in, surrounded by the deaths around us, all over? Whether we watch any news or talk to anybody, the situation is precarious. What is an advice that you give to all of us, Dr. Saab?
First, if you see whether you are in jail, you are in your house, or you are in somebody's house, it is you only. It is you in you. So, I mean, how you interact and how you adopt to the changing situation is one thing. In jail, of course, you have a tendency to look down on yourself.
Okay.
You develop a guilty feeling. Why I am here? No. So kill that guilt. So it has happened. I will advise one thing. Read one thing called serenity prayer. Serenity prayer is we pray God. God, give me the strength to accept things which I cannot change.
Okay. Very well said, doctor. Yeah.
Capacity to change things which I can.
Okay.
And the wisdom to know the difference between these two things. That's what serenity prayer says.
Oh.
So, to me, serenity is peace. So, to be in peace, whether in jail, whether at home, or whether at, so chant the serenity prayer. Go to Google and see what is serenity prayer. And in a jail-like situation, you close your eyes. In whose house are you? In which place are you? Close your eyes. So in the same way, what I'm telling is, you have to emotionally blind yourself to certain situations and make an adaptive change. In jail, first, when we enter jail, we look down upon ourselves. Our self-esteem goes down.
Yeah.
Our self-purpose goes down. And then you start asking, why I am here now? Why I should be? Why I should? It's not a place for me. Why I am here now? So that pulls down the existing energy in you, and then you will have a tendency to perform low. So what I'm telling is, you keep your self-esteem always high, and in nature, whatever we can change. So for example, being in jail is what you have probably tried to not to be. And then, but once it is imposed on you, you are in an unchangeable situation. So you got to accept. That's what is mindfulness.
Yeah.
Mindfulness is acceptance without critical judgment. You fight in a court of law to pull you out of jail. But you are in that situation and you try to meet the demands of the situation. That's all. You adopt yourself. Human body or mind can adapt to changing situations. So that should be the attitude, rather than I am put in jail, I am fit for nothing. So then you have negative self-talk.
Yeah.
More negative self-talk, it pulls down your energy levels. That's what it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Saab, I think more pertinent questions are coming on the mindfulness point of view. There's a very sharp question which has come up. Do people suffer depression solely due to their own actions, or will it happen because of the people around them make them depressed?
See, I will tell you, some people come and say, sir, I get angry because other people make me angry.
Okay.
But actually then I ask them, who is getting angry? It's me. So whose fault is it? So they think and say, they try to put the fault on others. But sometimes say, Yes, I get angry. Situations you cannot stop people throwing mud at you. Can you stop? No, it's not possible. But you can stop the way you react. No, suppose you react, you be calm. How can somebody make you depressed? So it is your depressive reaction to the mud thrown by others. That means you made yourself vulnerable to stress.
Okay. So what do you advise for such situations to overcome? In a very brief advice, anything you can give, doctor?
Whenever we are in a difficult situation, all human beings have a tendency to point out the finger.
Okay.
You are at fault. That's what we always say. When you are pointing out your finger to somebody, please remember 3 fingers are pointing towards you. Correct. They are flexed and pointing towards you. We ignore them. We ignore them. So you are responsible for my depression. You are responsible for my anger. You are responsible for my pitiable situation. So instead of putting blame on them, introspect and find out to which extent the reaction which you are showing is meaningful and useful to the situation. So that's very important. So it's instead of blaming somebody, take the blame on you. But thing is, I tell you, depression is a emotional disorder. When you develop a disorder, it is not enough if you do put your efforts only. There may be some counseling or some medical treatment is required. But as far as depression, passing depressive state of mind, it's not others make you depressed. Others may try to make you depressed. But what about the you in you? What you have done to face the depression? No, that's very important. So you try to introspect and find out why I am reacting this way. Why can't I react in a different way? All people put in a situation, in this such a situation, do they get depressed? They don't. Then why I am getting depressed? So the fault is theirs or mine. Okay. That way you look into yourself and try to change. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. And extended to the similar question, is medication is a must for chronic anxiety? Do you suggest medication for anxiety? Not for depression.
Or meditation?
Medication.
C-A-T-I-O-N.
Yeah, C-A-T-I-O-N.
See, I will tell you, for acute anxiety disorders, medications work wonderfully. Okay. But for chronic anxiety, what happens is medications lose their ability to act on.
Oh, I see.
So in most of the drugs which are used in treatment of anxiety are what are called GABAergic drugs.
Yep.
GABAergic drugs means which reduce the excitability of the neurons. So that you will be able to face the situation. But thing is, you have to do your own homework to face the situation. So medications, particularly in chronic disorders, have very limited role. There, how you face the situation, how you bring out a change in your lifestyle, how you motivate yourself, how you increase your self-esteem, these things count out. Medications are required, they have a supportive role. Whereas acute anxiety, medications of course have a better role. Got me?
Yeah. Okay, doctor. Thank you. Hopefully, I think this addresses the participants' query. And I have a final last question before I think it is time everybody is also. See, somebody is saying that they are being stuck in house with the people around them 24/7 for months together, made him erratic in nature. And he used to staying by himself, not forced to hear 2 different TV sounds or other musics other than his phone calls. So, I used to be very unbothered by most of the things in life. Now, every small sound is getting to my nerves. I have been at my worst behavior. How do I go back to my sweet self? I think It's very apt. Even the smallest needle fall now clearly audible to my ears. My friend who has asked, or who has asked, we are all feeling the same sensation that we feel is getting to our nerves. So what do you advise, doctor? How do we overcome this situation?
That's a, that question has an answer hidden in that. You have your own, like you want to have your own life, others have the privilege to have their own life also. So in a house, there are 3 or 4 or 5 people, like you want your freedom, others also have to have their freedom. But then what happens? You are trying to restrict their freedom and thereby blame them that they are restricting your freedom. So you hear your sounds, they hear their sounds. You live your way, they live your way, but positively interact.
Yeah, that's what we have said in our earlier communication, because
So,
being close to the
Why should you get irritated when others? No, you can ignore the other sounds or tolerate the other sounds. No, are they not tolerating the sound you are creating? In the same way, you got to tolerate. So that same way, that change of attitude will definitely go a long way to sort of limit the situation. Thank you. Huh?
Okay, right, doctor. Hopefully, I think that addresses his concern. One last question before we close this session. Thank you so very much. I think patiently somebody was asking how to take care of mental well-being with the existing treatment going on. That is the sleep hygiene, coping with low esteem.
See, sleeping with tablets sleep is a normal physiological activity that nature has bestowed on us.
Yeah.
But then we reduce our sleep by our activities, by our anxiety, by our stresses, by our lifestyle. So if suppose you can control those things, then you can, while undergoing treatment also, you can implement these, activities, and then you can improve your mental well-being. But then there are some points which for healthy sleep, sleep comes to us. It's not that we invite sleep. For example, you hold a mobile and sleep. Will you be able to sleep?
No.
You switch on the light. No.
Yeah.
What is the biggest enemy of human life? You humans, you know that? Huh?
Yes, doctor.
It's electricity.
Oh.
The electric bulb, electric gadgets. That's what the enemy of human beings. So now if you will zero down to mobile. For example, mobile, laptop, all these things, they emit what's called a blue light.
Yeah.
And there is one hormone which we secrete in our brain called melatonin, which comes in darkness. And then that will promote your sleep. So by playing with these mobiles, you are exposing yourself to blue light and reducing the melatonin levels of your brain. So you do that and blame others. Modify your environment. Now, for example, sleep hygiene suggests you sleep in silence and in darkness. Don't eat before sleeping. We have a habit of eating while on the bed also sometimes. No smoking and no alcohol.
Yeah.
And exercise is required, but not after 5 p.m. so that you will be able to sleep well.
Oh, I see. So you suggest no major exercise after 5 p.m. in the evening?
After 5 p.m., preferably. For those people who do not sleep well, it's better they do morning exercise.
Okay.
And then the surroundings should be cool.
Yeah.
And another thing, few things they say is bed should be associated with, bed should be conditioned. The memory of bed should come to you for sleep and sex only, nothing else.
Okay.
For example, people play cards on bed.
Yeah.
People eat on bed. People argue on bed and sleep on the same bed and say, I'm not getting sleep. No. Yeah. How can it be possible? So use bed only for sleep and sex and nothing else. Yeah. And have a regular sleep time.
Yeah.
They say, and you blame the environment, say that day that some train has come late, this has become, that is. No, you have regular sleep hours. And then you have regular sleep rituals. That will give you better sleep. Have a cool surrounding. No, and also there are few things which people suggest is take a warm glass of milk.
Yeah.
Warm, sweet glass of milk in the night. Some people advise, I mean, not in the sleep hygiene, they advise take a warm shower before going to bed. That will promote sleep. You know, if you take warm milk with sugar that contains, tryptophan, which will again induce sleep. Eat a ripe banana.
Okay.
Eat a ripe banana.
Okay.
And that will induce sleep. No, that again because of tryptophan. But somebody in diabetes say, how can I eat the banana? No, it's not for those people. For people who are diabetic can follow other principles which are given. So there are sleep, these are some of the gross points, and there are subtler points also. There are subtle points also that things will be told by a therapist to his patient when they are not sleeping, and then go to him. They will explain it much better. There are still, like for example, we ask them to close their eyes and concentrate on a distant sound that is coming. A bird chirping far away. That will give you a better sleep. But the thing is, maintain better sleep rituals, and keep the room cool, have a comfortable mattress and other points which I mentioned. People want to drink and sleep. How can they get sleep? So there are things which should be observed to have good sleep. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. I think, still there are questions which are pouring in, but we are running out of time. Do you suggest a last question? Can I take it, Doctor?
As far as I'm concerned, I don't mind.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is the last question. So I request all the participants, this is my last question to the doctor. I think, this person is saying that he has two kids of 1-year-old and 3-year-old, along with his spouse. Earlier he used to go to the office and spend quality time with the family when he used to come back. Nowadays he is staying at home, and he still need to really work for earning, and he's not able to really focus on professionally because of the kids and the environment in it. As you rightly said, he is becoming little sensitive in understanding himself rather than probably understanding. So he says that, how do I really address my concentration? I'm not able to concentrate on the work.
That means he says that he's living with 2 children, 1 year and 3 years, and then he's unable to focus on the work.
Yeah, and children and wife. Earlier, they all used to be at home. He used to go to the office and work and focus. Now, being at home, he is unable to focus on the work.
See, that means there's probably a change of mental attitude, and the way you look at the changing situation, and you are unable to mobilize your own resources. This actually, it's a good question, I agree, but still we need to analyze it in much more deeper.
Yeah, okay.
Taking into consideration other life situations of the person who asked it.
Correct.
So I think better they come and then have a dialogue with the doctor.
Yeah, absolutely, doctor. I think with that, thank you so very much, doctor. We appreciate your participation and your time and valuable inputs. It's a great honor for all of us.
One second. If suppose there are unanswered questions and there is no time, and they can send it to my mail ID, and then I'll be very happy to answer them to the extent I can. Okay.
Yeah, definitely, Dr. Saab. We will be collecting all the questions at Shout for Help, and then we will seek your guidance to all of our participants, and then it is a enumerating and accelerating conversation, knowing about health in general, knowing about fitness, not beyond the physical fitness, the emotional well-being, and the small activities that we can able to do. Still, in spite of all what we recalibrate ourselves, still the pandemic and the current situation is really enduring the humanity as a whole. Hopefully, all of us will able to overcome together and have a new changed life for all of us. thank you one and all. And we request all of you that we are going to have the health talks on a series. So please do watch out for our community portal for upcoming webinars. And as the situation arises, we will be conducting health talks into the respective situations. So on behalf of Shout for Help, I thank all of the participants, especially Dr. Krishnamurthy Garu, and my colleagues Vignesh, Neelaveni, Srinivas, Abhiram, who is our founder and promoted the platform to a greater extent. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much. Have a safe and healthy day ahead. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank
Doctor.
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Subbarao.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Subbarao.